Welcome to Baz Travels. After driving 14,826 kilometers through 24 states and Washington, D.C., I've seen rocket launches to the Grand Canyon and Hoover Dam. I've explored Route 66, ghost towns, deserts, snow, and beaches on both coasts. From Vegas casinos to Alcatraz, the White House to Hollywood. Join me for a journey of the ordinary and the extraordinary.
Loading destination. Simulation starting in 3, 2, 1. To look around, move your phone or tablet. Click and drag if on a computer or move your head if using a VR headset. Please like and subscribe.
The US Navy Submarine Memorial exists here for a very specific reason, and it only makes sense when you understand how this river was used during World War II. What looks like a quiet section of the Chicago River was once part of a much larger logistical system that connected inland industry to global warfare. During the war, submarines were being built in Wisconsin, far from any ocean, and that raises an obvious question about how they were deployed. The answer is that they were transported through inland waterways, starting on the Great Lakes, moving through the Chicago River, and then continuing down towards the Mississippi River system. That route allowed submarines to travel from freshwater shipyards all the way to the ocean without ever needing to be dismantled. From there, they could be deployed into the Atlantic or Pacific, depending on operational needs. The submarines connected to this memorial were part of the Pacific War effort, where they played a critical role in disrupting Japanese supply lines. Submarines were not used primarily for direct combat in the way people often expect, but instead focused on cutting off shipping routes. That strategy was extremely effective because Japan depended heavily on maritime supply chain for fuel, materials, and food. By targeting those routes, submarines were able to weaken industrial capacity and reduce the ability to sustain long-term operations. This makes submarines one of the most impactful but less visible parts of the war, because their success came from restricted movement rather than from engaging in large-scale battles. The results were measured in reduced supply rather than visible destruction. The memorial itself recognizes the submarines that were built and transported through the system, and more importantly, the crews who operated them. Submarine service was one of the most dangerous roles during the war, with high loss rates compared to other naval positions. Operating a submarine meant working in confined conditions, often for extended periods with limited visibility and constant risk of detection. If a submarine was compromised, escape options were extremely limited. That level of risk is what part of this memorial represents, because it's not just about the vessels, it is about the people who operated within those constraints. The design reflects that by focusing on recognition rather than scale. The location is also important because placing the memorial along the river directly connects it to the route those submarines once traveled. This is not a symbolic placement. It is physically tied to the movement system that made their deployment possible. What makes this site unique is that it links a global conflict back to a local environment. The river here looks controlled and urban, but it was part of a logistical chain that extended across continents. That connection changed how you read the space, because this is not just a city river, it is part of a system that supported wartime production and deployment at the international scale. The memorial anchors that history in a specific location, and it explains how something built far inland could still play a role in ocean-based warfare.
I used to,
Yeah, the fountain is going off again. Isn't that nice? It took me forever.
Simulation terminated. Please comment, like and subscribe.